So you're thinking about buying a house in Henrico County, Virginia. Henrico County is a suburb of Richmond, Virginia, and today we're going to be talking specifically about the west end of Henrico. Richmonders just call this the West End. Now, the West End is a great laid-back vibe, plus its proximity to the city lets you take advantage of all the city has to offer without losing the charm of a tight-knit community. So is the West End the right place for you to move? Let's take a look at the West End. Specifically today, we're going to take a look at the 23238 zip code on the map, and then we're going to break down the pros and cons of the West End so you can see how that stacks up for your next move or real estate investment. In my last video I just posted last week was a neighborhood tour of the West End, so make sure you check that out. That'll kind of help put this in context a little bit, and we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Richmond, Virginia, and the surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, Goochland, and Powhatan, then subscribe below and tap the notifications bell so you can be the first to know about the current market in Richmond, Virginia. My name is Scott Durnley with Joyner Fine Properties. My team and I get calls from folks like you every single day looking to make the move to Richmond, Virginia, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, heck, even 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All that information is linked in the description below so we can help you make a smooth move to Richmond, Virginia. All right, so let's go ahead and hop on my computer, and then we're going to take a look around Henrico's West End on the map. Then we're going to jump back off and we'll talk about some pros and cons and get this thing wrapped up. Take a look at the 23238 zip code, which is essentially part of Richmond's West End on the map. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So here you can see it right here outlined in red. So we're definitely west of the city of Richmond in Henrico County. We kind of border down here. It goes all the way down to the James River, which, as we know, the James River kind of divides Richmond into two parts. You've got north of the James and you've got south of the James. So this right here is the 23238 zip code. Now, a very convenient zip code. You are close to so much. We talk a lot about the short pump area right here. So you are super close to short pump here in the West End. So that is good. There's like all the creature comforts of the world, dining, restaurant, shopping, things like that up at short pump. So very convenient location. Now, so let's talk about if you worked downtown. A lot of folks do work downtown. You would just travel to 64. However, there's many ways within here to get to 64. You travel to 64 and then down into downtown for work. If you work out at Carmack, we have a couple big employers here in Richmond, Carmax and Capital One. They are right here off of 288, right around where the cursor is right here. If you live in the West End, you're going to be super close to there. We're talking, depending on where you live, 5-10 minutes. Even if you work south of the river, you can get there. 288 is a beautiful new artery that connects the West End to the south side. So you could have a job in the south side and get there because 288 is convenient for you to get to Chesterfield County. Then if your job makes you travel a lot, the airport is down here in Sandston. That's where the airport is. It's actually this nice gray piece right here on the map. Couple ways to do it. The way I would do it if I was out here in the West End is I would travel on 295, sometimes going on 64 through downtown. The traffic can get a little tough at downtown. So I would bypass, that's all why we have these 295, to bypass traffic going through town. Say take 288 to 64, 295, come on down, and then there's a nice little exit right here where you can get off and head into the airport. That is probably going to be about a 30-minute drive from here to the airport for you. 30 to 35 max, depends on if you hit traffic. You are on the other side of town from the airport, but it's still not hard to get to. So we talked about shopping. Our best shopping is going to be here in Short Pump. We have the Short Pump Town Center, which is pretty famous. I always say it is the best mall in Richmond by far, and probably one of the best malls in all of Virginia. But this entire corridor here from 64 to 288 on 250, this is all shopping, shopping, and more shopping, restaurants, restaurants, and more restaurants, with the town center here being sort of the centerpiece of it all. So everything you would ever need is there. So grocery stores, there are some that are down here, a little bit closer to in here, getting from 23238 up to Short Pump. We're talking about a 5 to 10 minute drive, so it's not exactly far. You've got everything you'd ever want. You've got your Kroger in here, you've got a Whole Foods, you have Fresh Market, you come down here, you have your Costco, literally everything you'd ever want. Diamonds Direct, great store around Christmas. Got my wife earrings from Diamonds Direct this last Christmas. So literally, World of Beer, can't complain about that. Everything you need is within your fingertips. If you live in 23238, you can get it. Everything you want is going to be very close. Short Pump, where there's so much shopping, is very close. Great restaurants up here. We've got a wonderful Brazilian steakhouse here at Short Pump Town Center. It's called Texas de Brazil. And then right up here at West Broad Village, we just opened a second one called Fogo de Chao. I still like the Texas de Brazil one a little bit better. A very high-end steakhouse called Perry's that just opened at the Short Pump Town Center. I highly recommend that. There's an Italian restaurant here at the town center I love called Maggiano's. So there's a movie theater in here. There's so much. There's a right here at 288 64. There's the Drive Shack, which is basically like a Top Golf. That's so much fun. There is just a lot to do. The west end of Richmond is convenient. Short Pump, it's convenient to so much. You've got dining, you've got shopping. It's just a wonderful location. The schools are fantastic. Let's just hop into the schools since I just mentioned that. If I hop over to schools, Henrico County Public Schools, this is just one of the rating websites. It's rated the number 6 best school district in the Richmond area, which I find I would think it would be overall better than that, but it's scored a B+, which is great. Now, one thing you have to think about, Henrico County is sort of the tale of two counties. You have Eastern Henrico County, which is more down by the airport, and then you have Western Henrico County. So I'm just going to hop back here. Henrico County wraps around the city, all around the city here on the top end. We're out in Western Henrico. Highland Springs, this is Eastern Henrico. So as we wrap around the city, this is Eastern Henrico, this is Western Henrico. These schools in Western Henrico are much better. So my guess is Western Henrico is more like an A+, and Eastern Henrico is probably more like a C, and they average out to a B+. But either way, schools in Western Henrico are fantastic. You will not be unhappy with those. But again, please go to your different rating websites. There's another one I use called greatschools.org. I just decided not to pull it up today, but it's a good one. But overall, Western Henrico schools are excellent. So going back to the map, let's hop over and just look at Zillow. Here's the same zip code on Zillow. You're going to see there's a lot of pricey homes in 23238, and we do have new construction in that area. So we do have newly constructed houses. There are a lot of nice neighborhoods with houses in the $400,000 or $500,000. And then, again, there are a lot of luxury homes in the neighborhood. This is a very typical home right here, this Richmond colonial style house. We've got some ranchers, then here we have a contemporary house. So there is really a whole bunch of different styles of homes in the area. And we've also got townhome products like this. And then, prices we're going to talk about prices here in a little bit, but prices will be pretty well all over the map. We'll be anywhere from, 400 or 500 to multi-million. So there's a lot of price diversity in the west end of Richmond in this zip code. All right, let's hop on and look at some market stats for the 23238 zip code. All right, so our entire MLS, our median price is $390. Now you hop down to 23238. and we're seeing 568,000. So we're a little bit higher we're not a little bit higher, we're a lot higher. Western Henrico is not an inexpensive place to live. So that's the median. 50% of the houses are going to sell for more than this, and 50% of the houses are going to sell for less than this. If we look at a straight average of price, we're looking at $639 compared to $464 for our entire multiple listing service. So it is higher, without a doubt. Homes for sale, we've got a whopping 49 homes for sale as of the time this was run, which is not much. There is not a ton of inventory. You'll hear me say that in almost every video. Days on market, things are lasting a whopping 7 days. So if you put your house on the market, pretty much anywhere in Richmond right now, it's going to go fast. Months supply, about 1.5 months. How many months will it take to absorb the current inventory at our current sales pace? 1.5. That is still very much a seller's market. Things are still imbalanced to be a seller's market. Percent of list price, look at this. Things in the West End are going for over list price on average. So that is not unexpected. And then let's look at price per foot. 232 is what we've got right here versus 217 for the entire MLS. So price per foot were definitely higher. All right, well, let's jump off of my computer right now, and we're going to talk about a few of the pros and cons of the West End. You know, everything's got a good side, everything's got a bad side. There's more good than bad, but we're going to talk about it all here so you can decide if the West End is right for you. And now for the question of the day. For those of you who are thinking about moving to the greater Richmond area, where are you moving from? And what is the main reason you're leaving your current city or your current state? I'm truly curious, so let me know down below. Make sure you leave your answer in the comments below because I do want to hear what you have to say. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts, you can leave those in the comments below, or better yet, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. My information should pop up on the screen. All right, now that we've jumped off of the map and you've got a good idea of sort of where 23238 Western Henrico is located in relation to Richmond as a whole, let's talk about some of the pros. And again, I'm going to go over this pretty quickly. Prime location. I talked about that a lot on the map, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it here. But if you're looking to be centrally located, you can't beat the Western Henrico. It's close to everything. If you work downtown, it's an easy commute. If you work at CarMax or Capital One off of 288, easy commute. If you need to take 288 to the south side, easy commute. If you needed to get to the airport, it is across town, but 30, 35 minutes, so that's not too bad. If you need to go up 95 north, not easy to get there. So it's just very, very good location. Easy to get around Richmond from there. So another pro number 2 is going to be just your shopping and dining and things are excellent out that way. Again, on the map portion, I talked about this a little bit. All I can say, Short Pump Town Center and things in that general area will have anything and everything you want, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Safety. So let's think about safety. Is the West End a safe place to live? Well, according to the website Neighborhood Scout, crime is 56% lower than your average city in Virginia and 75% lower than your average city nationwide. That is pretty good. West End is safe. Now, you will want to do your own research if safety is a big concern for you, and there are some great resources for this. Like including Neighborhood Scout is a good website for this. Now, schools, we did talk about schools on the map piece, so I hit a lot of the pros in the map section, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that here right now. Schools are excellent in Western Henrico. A lot going for Western Henrico, great place to live. Now we're going to talk about, there are a few things that you might want to think about on the con side. They're not huge, but it's something to keep your mind cognizant of. That was a hard word to get out when making your decision. So I have created a very handy relocation guide that can save you hours of time and effort, and you can link to that right below. It's a must download, and I think you'll get some great information out of it. All right, so let's talk about a few cons. Cost of living. Cost of living in the West End, and by that I'm mainly talking about the cost of homes, since home prices are one of the major drivers of cost of living. So let's look at some recent sales from the 23238 zip code. I went into the MLS and I just looked at closed sales for the last 90 days, and we had 55 closed sales in the last 90 days. Now the lowest sale closed at $370,000 and the highest sale closed at $1.7 million. So there's a pretty good gap between those numbers. But if you look at the average sales price, that was $671,000 and the median sales price was $575,000. Now I know when I was on the map portion of this video, I did go to what's called InfoSparks and we looked at some median and average pricing, and they were just slightly different than this. My numbers are based on a 90-day average, so they probably had a little bit different period. They could have been 30 days, they could have been 180 days. I am not sure exactly how that program calculates their average and the median, but it's clearly using a different time period. I used 90 in these examples. So while Western Henrico is not the most expensive place to live in the RVA, there is more expensive. It is closer to the high end. There are definitely some less expensive parts, even within Henrico County and Glen Allen, that are going to be a little less expensive than the West End. And then Chesterfield and Hanover, both of those counties will offer some options that are going to be a little less expensive. Cost of housing is on the higher end in Western Henrico. So let's look at property taxes again. We're in Henrico County. So with the exception of the city of Richmond and Chesterfield County, Henrico County has the highest property taxes in the area. So it's kind of coming in number 3, with Richmond and Chesterfield being a little bit higher. For example, Henrico has a tax rate of 85 cents per 100 of assessed value. So I have to think about this in terms of an actual house. So let's say you bought a $500,000 house in Henrico County. You will have annual real estate taxes of $4,250. And if you break that down monthly, it's $354 a month. If you go slightly west of Henrico County, right into Goochland County, cross that line, they butt up to each other. Goochland County has the lowest taxes in the entire area. So if you bought that same, you went about 5 miles out to the west in the Goochland County, you might not find the same house, but let's just say you did. That same $500,000 house in neighboring Goochland County would have annual taxes of $2,650 or $221 a month. That is a good deal lower. Wish I'd calculated that percentage for you, but I didn't. $4,250 versus $2,650. That's a pretty big, not quite 50% lower, but it's a good deal lower. Taxes and cost of housing in the West End are a little bit on the higher side. They always say there's a saying in life, you get what you pay for. It's an excellent place to live. The last slight con I could say is if you work downtown in the morning, it's super convenient to get to downtown on I-64, but you are going to hit some traffic in the morning where I-64 and I-95 kind of merge together. Same thing if you work at CarMax or Capital One on 288 at rush hour, you can have some traffic there and it can get a little congested. Now this is not California style gridlock that'll drive you absolutely insane, but there are going to be some delays. You know, I guess every town has rush hour and we're not immune to that here in River City. So just another little thing to think about. It's a minor inconvenience, but depending on where you work, if you live in the West End, you could hit some traffic, you know, in the morning and in the evening. So that's it. Now we're going to wrap this thing up. Well, that's it for our map tour and our pros and cons of living in Henrico County's West End. Hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Now, these are the types of things we talk through with clients every day when they're deciding where to move in the greater RVA area. So if you'd like to talk, have a discussion about moving to Richmond, Virginia, or moving within Richmond, Virginia, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All that information is linked in the description below. Until next time, I hope to show you around town. Have a great day.